Top of it, top of it. It's your boy Coach One Stack, man. And I hope you guys have been enjoying this real content, man, that I've been dropping for you guys. You know, I know y'all tired of that artificial intelligence. You know, and I know y'all tired of this people just giving y'all the wrong story and just rambling off and showing y'all all these reaction videos of all this Duke the Jeweler stuff, of how he got lined up by Boosie. You know, to some of us in this world, man, you know, everything ain't about money and views and giving y'all bad information and all that stuff. Some of us that actually post, we actually want to post the right thing. Don't spread no rumors and just go off the facts of what we see. You know, which leads me to this video, man. Just some other things that I've seen of how I would tell you for a fact that Boosie lined up Duke the Jeweler. You feel me? And we just gonna really just talk about the crap game. You dig? You know, when they was over there shooting craps, man, you gonna notice that Boosie was whistling throughout the entire video. He kept whistling. Now, it's said allegedly that Duke had, you know, 600 and some change cash in his case, and that Boosie knew what was in that case, and Boosie had him put that case in his room, you know, where he was at that Airbnb down there, you know, which lets you know that he is the only one that knew what was in that case. Nobody else knew what type of money he had in that case. So see, him and Duke the Jeweler had an agreement that he was gonna put up $1 million piece for him, right? Now, what y'all don't understand, and you've heard Boosie say it so many times, you know, go back to some of the DJ Vlad videos. Like I said, I'm not doing reaction videos. I don't edit nothing. You know, go back to some of these DJ Vlad videos. You're going to hear DJ Vlad ask Boosie about jewelry. He's like, man, I'm not spending $200,000 on a chain. He said, a lot of the jewelry I get it for free. And he's like, well, how you get it for free? He said, because I may bring somebody that wants a piece made, right, from a jeweler, and that person spends a certain amount of money with this jeweler, and because of that, I get free pieces. You understand what I'm saying? Hustling, which is a good thing. I respect that, man. If you can get the jewelry for free, get it. And what a lot of y'all don't know, man, a lot of that jewelry is on consignment. They're not paying cash money for that jewelry. You know, you got people like Young Dolph. You can go pull these videos. You know, Young Dolph wasn't even the head of Paper Route Empire. You know, it was Daddy-O. Daddy-O was the head of Paper Route Empire, and did not move in Paper Route Empire without Daddy-O. Even you can see a video when Dolph went to the ice box to get some jewelry, and they said, you know, we got to contact Daddy-O. We got to okay this through Daddy-O. And he's like, no, you don't, because I just okayed it. See, people, you know, they get this jewelry, and you have to do what's called a wire transfer. If those of y'all who don't even have a bank account, you're not going to know what a wire transfer is. You know, because based off of clout and who they are, this is how they get a lot of that jewelry. This is how Floyd Mayweather gets a lot of his jewelry, which he's in debt for jewelry now for taking jewelry and not paying for it. But back to Boosie and Duke. So back to Boosie and Duke. You know, he says that he didn't know him before he came out there. But why would you trust somebody that you don't know to come meet you in an odd city, right? And to spend, you know, $1 million on some jewelry with somebody you don't know? Then Duke the Jeweler, man, a lot of y'all keep saying, man, you know, why would he get in a car and drive 12 hours from Chicago down to Houston? It's real simple. For those of y'all who don't have no money, man, when you go through the airport, anything that you have over $10,000, you have to declare that money. You know, when you go through the airport, you got to declare anything over $10,000. Which means when you going through the airport, and Duke the Jeweler had this $600,000 and some change in his briefcase, when you go to get screened, they're going to go in that bag and they're going to ask you where this money came from. And if you cannot prove where you got that cash from, they're going to take your money. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to take your money and they're going to make you produce some type of receipts or some type of paperwork showing how you got that money, how you got every penny of that money. You ain't even going to be able to go back and say, hey man, one of my friends loaned me the money. You're not going to catch no case for it, but your money is going to be caught up in the system. They basically going to take your money until you can prove how they got it. So this is why Duke the Jeweler drove 12 hours down here to Houston with his jury to show these pieces. And he was supposedly supposed to sell some pieces, and he came with some cash. Well, the thing is, Boosie didn't want to pay that tag. If y'all don't know anything about Boosie, man, I respect him because he's a hustler. You know, I'm the same way. I'm cheap. I'm gonna get everything at a discount if I possibly can, and that's how it was with him. So he got Duke into this dice game. He got Duke into this dice game, and he let him know that when because you know Boosie knew that the dice were loaded in this game, and so the whistling, what I'm told from some good sources, is that when all the whistling, that was to let Duke know when he was supposed to go all in. You dig what I'm saying? Now, press and pause. It's some people that are leaving videos out here, y'all. It's some people that's leaving videos out here, y'all, saying that they had trick dice and the table had a magnet on it and this, that, and the third. Well, listen to this, y'all. That's false information. How you gonna have an Airbnb and all of a sudden just switch the pool table out that day to get a pool table in there that has a magnet, that got a magnet under it to make the dice do what they want to? Use your brain, man. Do you know how heavy a pool table is? So that's false, you know. So Boosie knows about this dice game, and he know who got the fake dice because he's in on it himself. You notice he never put one bet down, but the whistling supposedly was supposed to be for Duke, you know, when he was supposed to go all in and put that 600 grand down all the way in. But really that whistling was giving people signals to let his little cousins and all them know their part that they were supposed to play in it. Because remember, guys, when you at a high stake dice game, a lot of time, man, you don't have to pull all your money out to fade a bet. If the person running the dice game, which is the house, you know, because a real dice game, hey man, the house will keep track of the money. If you need a loan, you know, because let's say, man, you done ran out of money, you need 10, 20 bands, the house will extend you credit and give you 10, 20 bands so you can keep participating in a dice game. And also, the thing y'all got to understand is the house also gets a portion of the winnings of the dice game. The house gets a portion. So it's always, the dice game is always rigged, y'all. The dice game is always rigged. So when Boosie was doing his whistling, you see him back there, he whistling. That was to let Duke know, put that money all in, and by going all in, if he doubled that money, he would have over $1 million to now pay for that piece. Would mean Boosie was basically setting Duke up to give him a play to let him know, here, I'm going to help you win this money, and now I need my piece for free. Does it make sense to y'all? And it already happened. I mean, he's done this. Go look at DJ Vlad, and you will see where Boosie have said, he's like, man, I don't spend my money on chains. He said, I rarely even buy jewelry. He told people how he comes across jewelry. So in this case, Duke the Jeweler lost. When he put that money down there, he lost his bread. So now all he has left is his jury. Duke the Jeweler left that dice game, y'all. He left that dice game. But nobody gonna really get at him then because they know he don't have no money. They know all he has is jury. So the only card left to play in the deck is, okay, man, I gotta get this dude for his jury, man. I gotta get this dude for his jury. How do I get that jury? Well, that's easy. You invite him to a show knowing that he's by himself, right? Knowing that he's by himself. You give him backstage passes, and you have your people sitting out there. I mean, it's easy with a text message. Hey man, go stand by the car. He on his way out there now. And sources say, you know, because I make videos on how I get information, different videos that people send me and stuff like that. Not just what they tell me, but what people send me and other things that I see. Boosie ended his concert 20 minutes early. Now, you got to understand, man, Boosie, I don't know how much he's getting a show. He might be getting probably like 25, 30 a show, something like that. But the jury was worth way more, man. You know, Boosie is a different type of dude, man. He flies Delta. He flies Delta everywhere he goes, man, because he's cheap and he saves his points to take his flights. Everywhere Boosie can cut a corner, he's willing to do it, and I totally respect it. Because, you know, you're like, man, why would I pay $40,000 to fly private across country when I could pay a few $100s and get on Delta and use my points and rack them up because I travel all the time. So now he ends his concert early. Now this is where the grimy stuff come in, and y'all already know the rest. For those hustlers out there, man, for the hustlers, even if you're not a hustler, let's just say it wasn't no jury. Let's just say it was just your grandmother. Let's just say it was your daughter. Your daughter. Let's just say it was your daughter. Your daughter leaves the concert and she has to walk through this tunnel, up a hill, all the way to a car by herself with all this jury on. Man, you are going to send somebody with this person, with your daughter, say, nah, make sure my daughter make it to the car. Boosie got security that got blickies. He don't need that security around him at that point at the concert, because concert has security and off-duty police officers there, the real police there. Boosie could have easily sent his armed security with Duke and said, hey, man, make sure he get to the car and make it home. That's what we all do as friends. But it didn't happen that way. You dig what I'm saying? So not only did Boosie set him up with the fake dice, right? With the bad dice, with the bad signal to get him for that 600 and some cash, which, you know, they probably split at the end of the day, because that's the way it goes when you at this dice game, man. Some people are what you call layoffs. Them the people that just sit back and don't do nothing. These are the people. Then you got some people like a pawn that's gonna come in and lose a bet intentionally. Then you got people that know, you know, when to get the dice, when to bet. It's almost like counting cards. The games are rigged all around the country, and the house always gets a portion. So best believe he got a portion of that. If he didn't get all of that 600 and some thousand, he got a portion of it. Now, I believe that since they was in Houston, that when it came to that money, him and Junior split that money. I can guarantee you Junior got a piece of that money. And like I said, I'm making this video because I just got aware of that part yesterday. I can guarantee you, being down in H-Town, Junior got a split of that money. You dig? And so now, ain't nothing left but the jury. And so we don't know how many people were at that car when it came to Duke. I could tell you it probably was more than one. It definitely was probably more than one. You don't know if he was wearing, he more than likely was wearing some of his pieces. He had his briefcase that had some pieces, and the only person that knew this was Boosie, because he told him, he's like, man, I got to leave this dice game, man, because I got some pieces to sell. You know, I got some pieces to sell tomorrow. You know, so now you have the answer of why Duke the Jeweler, why he drove down to H-Town instead of flew. Because with all this jury and all this money, they're going to confiscate that. They ain't going to confiscate the jury. They're going to confiscate the money. And you can get your money back, but it is extremely hard to get it back. Guys, I watched a guy, man, who he was an Asian man. He came through customs, and they always ask you when you come back, do you have anything to declare? Do you have more than $10,000? No. They went through his wallet. They found three not cashier's checks, 3 traveler's checks that were worth $100,000 a piece, and they were folded up. And he had them in there for months. You could tell he forgot about them, but they confiscated that. So it is very hard to get back. So that's why Duke drove down there instead of flying. And now you see how Duke another way of how Duke was lined up by Boosie. It's real simple. It's right in front of your face. You just can't see it. He keeps saying that he don't know this man. He don't know this man. He don't know this man. How you don't know somebody but you're about to do business with them for $1 million? How you don't know somebody but you're standing behind them, right, whistling the whole time while they shooting dice, and you ain't faded one bet because you're the house. You're going to get a portion of the money anyway. You know, Boosie was walking around with his drawers on with no shirt on, right? How you don't know the man, but you know him well enough to give him backstage passes to your concert. That's when he rocked in the sleep. But see, you didn't know him well enough to send your security with him to the car. That right there in Duke's mind should have been, he should have, part of this is Duke's fault. He should have been like, hey, you know what? Hey, Boosie, man, how your security go with me? Hey, man, I got to go to the car, man. Can you send somebody with me to the car, man? You know I got all this jury and stuff. But him being narrow-minded, him being small-minded, and thinking everybody is his friend, and thinking everything's sweet in a whole nother city, and he come from one of the most dangerous runs, is one of the things that got him deleted and robbed, y'all. So, hey, man, if y'all like this content, man, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You know, we talking about everything on this channel, everything on this channel. Nothing is off limits. I'm trying to get y'all more aware with this law and how this law works and applies to your life, how it applies to some of these rappers, and why a lot of these rappers, man, will be spending a lot of time in prison or spending time in the graveyard because they not moving right. But and remember again, stay off this social media with your stuff. I would tell you time and time again, every major agency, every alphabet agency, they have a certain section that all they do 24 hours a day is monitor certain people's social media. And I mean every one of them. And if you think that you hide one when you make a fake profile, you're not hiding it. All that stuff ties in together due to IP addresses, and they can mix your IP with the burner phone sitting at the IP with your good phone and track that and prosecute you a million ways. So just don't do it, man. But other than that, man, y'all have a blessed day, church.